What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I honestly did not think I was going to be making another XDefiant video. And looking at this gameplay, boy oh boy, it makes me down bad. I still miss this game every single day that it's gone. The gameplay flow of this title was freaking phenomenal. But there's a lot of people coming out on social media basically giving what I like to call fake support to the overall title. And I gotta be real, it's kind of, I don't want to say annoying, but it irritates me a little bit because if all of the support was there since day one and people actually wanted to live up to what they're saying right now, I feel like this game would have had a partial chance. But sadly, of course, after the death date, that's when everybody goes ahead and starts speaking up. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post your daily at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. Battlefield, Arc Raiders, Splitgate. I don't know if I'm going to be covering Call of Duty as much as I usually do. I'm not even planning on covering the mid-season event. But, you know, if you guys are interested in any of that content, subscribe and hit that bell. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch. And tomorrow is actually the big day for Splitgate 2, where we're going to be getting a bunch of brand new content. So if you guys want to see me play that live and in action, by all means, you can tune into the stream. I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as I stated, I actually saw a video by TimTheTatman the other day that a lot of people told me to go ahead and check out. And boy, oh boy, I mean, he's not lying. I'm going to say it right here. He's not lying. But it kills me to know that it took him all the way until now to start spreading this type of positivity. And the only time that these individuals will even speak about XDefiant is if they were going to go ahead and have a sponsored, stream, sponsored video, so on and so forth. But let me go ahead and roll the footage and we will discuss afterwards.
What happened to XDefiant? I heard it's no longer playable. They shut down, brother. That's a damn shame, man. Because honestly, XDefiant, in my opinion, for what that game was, that style of game, I thought it was pretty well done. I can't even lie. I mean, me personally, I've been saying this for a minute now. Like, for me personally, these kind of like arena shooter, not even arena shooter. What is that style of game? The spawn die? Like, here's what I'll say. Me personally, I'll speak for myself, not anyone else. I do not enjoy streaming and playing these spawn die games. Does that make sense? Now, I understand that when you're in like Warzone or you're in a battle royale, right? You do spawn and you do die, but there's just more of a story, It's like, it's not just like I'm spawn dying on Nuketown over and over. And even a game like Counter-Strike, I'll give you Counter-Strike, right? Counter-Strike, you technically do spawn and then die, but it's a lot more tactical. And Rainbow Six. The thing I'm talking about is like this, what's it called, chat? Is it an arena? What about Rivals? I'd say Rivals are still a story. There's still like this storyline of you pushing the payload. You're getting from point A to point B. It's more team-based. I'm talking me just spawning over and over again like a TDM in Nuketown. In a deathmatch, yeah. I don't like those. I don't like streaming those games. I don't like playing those games. So like, but I'll say this. I thought XDefiant was a good version of that game. Which, if anything, that tells me that those style of games may be going away, bro. I don't know. If XDefiant, like, if that game, which was very well polished, had good updates, had great gunplay, if that style of game, if that level of caliber of that style of game flopped, that tells me that style of game is dying.
Now, before I go ahead and dive deep into the actual main topic that I want to discuss with you guys, I do want to touch upon some of the things that he said within this footage. And, it's perfectly fine if he doesn't prefer this style of gameplay. I totally get it, It seems like he does indeed enjoy more of the BR or even the extraction shooter vibe, where there is kind of a story being told, from point A to point B, to point C to point D. There's multiple different segments that happen in a BR that, kind of shake it up. It's one of the main reasons why I enjoyed, BRs before they took a turn towards the, kill hunting vibes. They used to be more so survival based and you had to actually think and strategize. You didn't have any respawns, like PUBG in the very beginning. You couldn't come back into the game. You die. You either sit there for 20 minutes and wait for your team to go away, or you guys all back out and re-queue again, So I totally get where he's coming from. But I gotta be honest, his terminology of these games is a little bit rough. The fact that he's saying that he doesn't like spawn die, but in the same breath, he's going to say games like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals has more of a story to it. Firstly, I want to say XDefiant had that. So if he enjoys Marvel Rivals and Overwatch, he could have literally played exactly that. I know some people who only played Escort and Zone Control within XDefiant. That was their main bread and butter. That was the best part about XDefiant. There were so many different things to play for arena/arcade style of players. But also, besides the point of that, that game mode is all about spawning and dying. And the fact that he's saying that it takes more skill and teamwork in a game like, again, Escort compared to a game like Domination or Hardpoint, which takes just as much skill and teamwork as a game mode like Escort, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. I gotta be completely real, it kind of lost me at that point. But I do 110% agree with his stance that if XDefiant couldn't thrive, genuinely, that showcases that arena shooters just aren't that popular anymore, and I completely agree with that. Same thing with Splitgate 2. I've said it many times before, that game is going to be niche. It's never going to blow up and be bigger than COD or Battlefield, or, Arc Raiders that's going to be coming out here. Any of these games, because of the fact that at its core, it is an arena shooter. It's why I don't really, hate them for putting in a BR, because, it's one of the best ways to get people to actually try arena shooters again. But even to get them to try it, they probably won't stick around, because regardless, arena shooters just aren't that popping. Whether we like it or not, us as a community, we are a niche community. Even within Call of Duty, guess what the bread and butter is? Warzone. Look at Battlefield. They're about to introduce a BR into their next game, right? All these companies are understanding that the games that used to be popping back in the day are no longer popping as much current date. It's a sad reality, Nobody wants to accept that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys wouldn't want to accept that and will probably debate me down in the comments section. But I promise you, look at Battlefield. Look how much it dwindles away after the initial launch. And Battlefield isn't even like a arena arcade game. It's more of a bigger team battle type game, but it still is an arena, slash arcade style shooter. So you could see it, you see the numbers and how they work. Even the best Battlefield games have huge cutoffs because, again, people just don't play them like they used to. Halo games. Halo still to this very current date. How many people actually, they get played, don't get me wrong. But compared to the big games, the behemoths, all the top dogs in the scene are BRs and extraction shooters. And we can say that they are dying as much as we want. And they are kind of dying down from their initial hype, but those are still the dominant figures in the gaming realm, and nothing's going to change that. I'm just saying, nothing's going to change that. They are going to be dominant for a long time coming, at least until brand new game modes that might spark the interest of other players will start to enter the scene. But as I stated before, and I know a lot of you guys are not going to like this, people don't want to accept it, they aren't going anywhere, and massive companies are going to be hunting them down like nobody else's business. Like I said, there's 4 categories of games I can really think of, You have PvE games, co-op style games. You have story mode games, single player games. You have battle royales, and you have extraction shooters. And of course, there's also little, mini sections that you can kind of, push in between those big segments I just listed that could go ahead and prioritize different games. But when it comes down to arena shooters, it just is what it is. They're just not as popular. But I do want to touch upon the fake support, the fake love that you see all the time on the internet, because it's driving me crazy, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Well, not crazy, because obviously it's not like, my whole world's ending. I can't sleep because people keep praising XDefiant that they didn't praise at day one. No, that's not the situation that we're in, but it still is kind of irritating to see people who are hyping it up like nobody else's business now, saying it was such an amazing shooter. The developers did such a phenomenal job. Yet back in its prime, nobody stood up for it. It was getting bashed like nobody else's business. The developers were trying to build up the game. They were putting out very meaningful patches, updates that did a lot of good work. Over time, it could have been perfected. But instead, it was nothing. Like I said, over half the people who made videos, not saying everybody, I'm not saying everybody at all, but over half the people who did make videos on the XDefiant made them in the very beginning and only made them when the hot news about the dev team getting shut down came on out. Whenever there was hot news, hot topics that you could clickbait the heck out of, that's when people came back to XDefiant. Not actually there to watch it grow, watch it build, follow updates, watch improvements, praise devs when they do good, talk down when they do bad. Nobody was there. It was vacant. All the COD guys went back to COD, and all the BR guys went back over to the BR games. To be honest, one of the only people I could really think of that, even made another video was Face Jev. But even he didn't really, keep up to date with it. But that's not really what his channel is all about, right? So you can't blame him. But it's one of the only people I could think of that made a follow-up video saying, I don't understand this hate. This makes no sense. Why are people crapping on this game? Why are people preying on the downfall of, titles that are trying to add competition into the marketplace? This is loser behavior. But could you imagine if everybody had that similar mentality? If a lot of people actually came into the game, played it a little bit, even if it was just one day a month, that would have gone a long way over no time at all. And again, if they don't enjoy the game, they don't enjoy the game. But now, out of nowhere, all these people are coming out making their, their sad videos, saying, "Oh, I miss XDefiant. Oh, I can't believe it finally went away. Oh, the only game that had no skill-based matchmaking. It was going to be main competition for COD. It's gone. Our chances are done." What? Well, why not talk about that in its prime? You get it? It's like the same exact thing. People only come back to it when there's hot topics, when there's spicy info that can give them a lot of clicks. The death of XDefiant, that's going to get them a lot of clicks. Covering, the freaking third patch notes list, not going to get them a lot of clicks. So they go ahead and prioritize one over the other. I just honestly wish they didn't make any of these videos at all. Seriously, if they didn't care for this game back in its prime, why even bother speak about it now? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even angry if they don't even bother discussing it because they didn't genuinely enjoy the game. It is what it is. But doesn't it just seem weird when people start talking about the potential of this game and how, good it could have been, and, all the stuff that we've been preaching about. A lot of the people who've been playing the game consistently, our vision of this game, they repeat all this stuff, but they weren't actually there when the game needed them the most. I don't know. I just think it's kind of sad that these people are doing this now instead of, back in the prime, but it is what it is. XDefiant is already gone, but I promise you, I could already see this happening for Splitgate as well. If Splitgate ever does get to that point, I guarantee over half the people who, claim that this is, groundbreaking for, the arena FPS style shooters, they weren't there in the prime. They're going to ignore the game, and they'll come back when it's dying on its deathbed and say, "Oh, this is so extremely sad." But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed his video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post to your daily at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys are interested, I can link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.